must talk about this dream that you have, the dream of a home, a house for every Indian. You have talked about this dream on a lot of platforms.
Yes.
Tell me more about this dream.
Okay. See, if you look at when we are talking about that today, 70% are living in, say, rural area, and in the next so many years, that 70% is going to get into the urban areas. I would say more than 75% of those people are not educated, but 60% or whatever it is, they come, they get some job in a restaurant, they get some job here or there. Somebody becomes a peon, somebody becomes a driver, whatever it is. And average earning of theirs is 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Now, when a guy is earning 10, 15 and 20, how much can he spend in a house? A fellow cannot spend more than 10 lakhs or 11 lakhs on a house. We have to create a scheme whereby we can give housing to all our masses in urban areas for 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Now that's the whole idea. And you can do that. You can do that.
How?
Now you'll say, how?
If you can share some guidelines, some vision. So
now look at any map of, say, any city. Identify how much of that city is covered in slums, how much of the city is covered in government land, large institutional land. What I feel that we have given so much of land and we are leaving it unutilized. Okay? For the last 20-25 years, I have been observing in Mumbai and some places in Delhi. They're just lying like that. From another side, shanties and old housing, which is dilapidated, slum housing, which is taking place. Okay, how much of land they are occupying? They are occupying. So I would say that in a city, if a slum is occupying, say, 10 acres, just giving you. Now that 10 acres, I can easily accommodate on a government land or on some institutional land which is not being used for years and years, in only 2 acres, 2.5 acres. Now, you will say, from where will you get money to make that housing over there? Banks are giving loans to everyone. The government does it. Or so that 10 acres will get vacated on 2.5 acres.
Right.
Guys will get housing at cost of construction only. Now, if you are going to do this, you are doing it for the country. So do not say, oh, you pay this tax and that tax and that tax. Please don't charge the taxes today. They are on the street. You can give them on rent, and in 20 years, 25 years, in amortization, they will pay back the money to the bank or any institute who has financed them.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you will say that where will that 2 acres which I have taken from that government land or an institutional land, where will they go? I have vacated 10 acres. So instead of 2 acres, 2.5 acres, I will say, chalo, I am giving you 3 acres after 2 years or 2.5 years. So that is one way of doing it. Now you will say that, oh, the guy who has financed that housing, he needs money immediately. So I vacated 10 acres, gave 2.5 to 3 acres to that government.
Right.
Rest of the land, I can sell part of it and recoup the cost and give it back to that bank or an institute. Now, mind you, you are talking about not only slums and housing for today. By this, you will house the people who are living in slums today. But in the next 10 years, 70% of the people from rural are going to come to the city. So what about the next lot? Now that remaining land from the 10 acres, 3 acres given to the government. Another, say, 3 acres is given to the other guy, sell it and get it. Or he can give it on rent, the housing. Don't even charge 10 lakhs, give it on rent. And in amortization, you recover the cost in 20-25 years. Okay. The remaining land, you do social housing.
Okay.
The same principle, what you did where you took the government land, now you have land ready. So you have another 3.5 acres where I can do, and I can do future housing also, which I can give it on rent. But madam, this idea, nobody wants to adopt it.
Why? Is there a lack of political will? What is
No,
the
I
time here?
I have presented this idea to a lot of high institutes or high government authorities in the center. They say, it is the state government's prerogative. Housing is a state government. I'm saying this is not housing. This is a need of the nation. If our beloved Prime Minister wants our economy to be, say, so many trillions, unless and until we have all our population working, producing, then only you can have it. So mind you, when I'm doing this kind of a housing, I am also creating employment generation buildings in those housing.
Absolutely.
So say I'm having housing of say 20,000 houses. In that area, I'll be having school, I'll be having shopping, I'll be having a hospital, okay, I'll be having a clubhouse, and I'll be having an employment generation building. Today, we are not competitive in the world as far as garments are concerned, as far as food processing is concerned. Because why? Because we cannot have our real estate. Real estate is not so expensive. And when the guy takes up that and he has to put up a garment factory, he has to think about the rent. But I'm giving this employment generation building free to that guy. And says, okay, employ these slum guys who have come. So that ladies can cook for half a day or 1 or 2 hours, come work in those factories, go back. They can just walk. So how much production we'll be doing? We can be doing electronics, assembly factories, so many things.
Absolutely.
This can change our country. Because not only this, just imagine the amount of money that will be plowed into real estate. The amount of money that will be in real estate, cement, the whole industry will employ. The economy of the country will improve by so much.
Totally, it's a ripple effect. But it's people like you, architects like you with a vision. They have to come into the mainframe of, decision taking when it comes to, the nation building. You are in the peripheral. Why are people with your stature not in the main, thought process of economic growth?
People should adopt the ideas, because it's just not the ideas. There are other things, and I feel that, to me, and the biggest infrastructure for our country is housing. If housing you consider and housing you take care, then our country will be a 5 trillion economy.
Fabulous.
But if you do not consider and if you do not take care of housing, then it will not be. And you have to give houses at 10 lakhs or on rent.
I salute you for that thought, but there will be challenges. There are going to be challenges to be able to achieve this dream. But it can happen the way you have explained it. It's just about getting the right minds and the right attitudes and the people together. Of course, a lot of political will. And I'm sure in times to come, let us hope that this dream is fulfilled and is realized. But it's a beautiful, beautiful way you put things, and I salute you for that. It's not just about your work. I think it's that level of commitment that's coming out from your heart. It's so evident.
No, I'll tell you now what I'm talking to you. We have worked out plans, taking, this is not just a theoretical conversation. We have worked out plans. We have taken plans of the slum. We have taken plans of government land, which is adjacent. How all of them will be housed. How they will have much better gardens, much better areas to go, a better school, solar power. Everything is worked out, and then I'm telling you these facts and figures.
Okay, my goodness,
and it will be a much more cleaner, much more healthier. What we are talking about, that we should get 100 gold medals in the Olympics. It will be possible because small kids, from the time they are 3 and 4 and 5, they will go to the gym. They will go. They will swim. They will run. They will. Everyone will have an access. First time I put my foot in a swimming pool, I was 21 years old. So
things have to change. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a beautiful thought, lovely vision. And I think we have to collectively come about and take it to the next level. It is possible. It can be realized. It's just a matter of making the right people understand and the bylaws changed or, to the changing times. We have to, as they say, change is the only constant. And that is what is going to create an environment where all of us collectively can actually touch people's lives. It's really a beautiful thought, a dream that has to go beyond paperwork, a dream that has to be understood and realized by people who can take that decision and be able to transform that dream into reality. And I really, really wish you all the best on that.